Hi, and welcome back to the Drama Coach podcast. Today, I'm joined by Emile Clarke, a working actor with a strong background in theatre, who's recently been out on tour, is moving into producing his own work, and also creates beautiful, striking headshots for actors. Emile and I actually go back to our early days at youth theatre, which is something that shaped both of our journeys. And it's been so lovely to reconnect years later through the performing world again. In this episode, we talk about life as a working actor, the realities of theatre and touring, what makes a strong headshot, and stepping into creating your own work, telling new stories and the importance of representation and neurodivergence within the industry. As always, this is about building confidence, understanding, and realistic expectations, whether you're a young performer or a parent supporting one. So let's get into it. Emile, it's so lovely to have you on and reconnect after all of these years, right back to our musical youth theatre days.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself to our listeners. Tell us a bit about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emile Clarke. I trained as an actor, so I would say that I kind of identify mainly as an actor, and then I also have I'm a neurodivergent. I also have ADHD and dyslexia. And ADHD is a lot of people, if anyone that knows any, we're chasing dopamine. So I love acting, but I've also chasing the dopamine. I've also gone off and become a photographer and also a kind of a theatre educator as well, and teacher and many other things.
That's amazing. And I missed that out from your intro. Actually, we have a crossover, don't we, and a mutual friend as well through doing some teaching, and that's a really lovely way to fuel yourself as well, I think.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about the neurodivergent stuff, because we just touched upon it before we started recording, and I thought, gosh, this could be so interesting, because I think generationally things have changed. I think it's important. Tell me more about how you found that, and what was that journey like for you?
How
If you're
I found
happy
it,
to.
yeah. How I found it was a friend of mine was just recently diagnosed with ADHD, and I was like, "What is that? What is that acronym?" And they were explaining their life to me and kind of what that means, and I was like, "But this person's called Hannah." I was like, "But Hannah, all those things you're describing, everyone does that." And she was like, "No, Emile, that's ADHD." And I was like, no, everyone does that. So we did like an online test, which I think you have to be careful of, because it's an unofficial online test, and like definitely was like, we're landing in this kind of unofficially, and it was like, it's very, very likely that you have ADHD. Are you late? Do you struggle to leave the house on time? Do you often return because you've forgotten your keys?
I really do think I need a test. Husband will testament to that. But perhaps I'm just happy thinking that everybody's like that, right?
Hooray!
Wow! And so you went further.
And then just went on this journey. It was because I really believe in knowing oneself. I think that's what I love about acting. Is
that's so important as an actor.
Like acting to me it's so many things, but one of the things that it is psychology and understanding humanity and understanding human stories, and I think is helpful to understand your own human story, I guess. And then I just went off on this like epic journey, and then eventually have been diagnosed. And it's just really one of the things that one of the stories that I love to share is there was a moment when I had been officially diagnosed, and what's beautiful about the ADHD community is I'm dyslexic, and I was diagnosed dyslexic when I was kind of fairly young. And back then there was a lot of shame, and there was this sense of like, oh no, you're dyslexic. Here you go, here's a ball to bounce. You'll never be a banker. Like, it was just
I think that's so important for our audience, because again, as a teacher, I'd be told, oh, don't give her that part. She's dyslexic. I was like, but she can do it. She's an amazing actor, and I know she will. I now know I'm dyslexic, but found that out through teacher training, funnily enough. And I had a little cry for my past self and thought, gosh, it was weird finding,
Mm,
I think finding those things out about yourself. They are important.
yeah.
But I think
Y-
there's so many layers there, and you clearly go on and use that to help in your teaching and in your story creating.
Yeah, I think it's I just I love to make my spaces that I'm facilitating as inclusive as possible. So being able to go, oh, I really understand what it's like to be dyslexic, and here's how I can help. And I really understand what it's like to be neurodivergent in different ways, and here's how I can help. There's other ways that I'm like, I don't fully understand that, but I can respect it, and I can do some work to make sure that I'm always learning. But
Mm.
yeah, I was working for, I think it was for the Bristol on Vic at the time, and there was a child that I set everyone a task and was like, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I was like, you've got 5 minutes to create this task. And this one girl was kind of just staring out the window, and I was like, oh, I'm really struggling to get this person involved. And then a light bulb went off, and I went over to them and I was like, when you're in group settings like this, do you find that you're talking with your group and then you get a bit distracted, and then when you come back, everyone's all ready and everyone's all set and they know what they're doing and they're all dinosaurs ready to go, and you're a bit lost? And she just went, I have ADHD. I was like, oh.
Okay.
So yeah, being able to go, oh, well, actually, one of the things that how I've managed to kind of navigate that, not realizing that I was at ADHD, was asking questions and being curious and getting, like, rather than getting distracted because I'm curious over here, get more curious with the task at hand, I guess. Gave them an extra 5 minutes, and she was like the star of the show within 5 minutes time. And I was just like, it really helped me understand the power of understanding what kind of what gets in the way of people, and how to kind of take those barriers down for people, I guess.
I love what you
Yeah.
said there. That curiosity, what a beautiful trait in an actor or a creative. It's needed. So if anyone's listening thinking, oh, my child has X, Y, or Z, and is that going to be a barrier? It's potentially a skill, not a
Yeah.
barrier. I think, and
100%.
I hope, with the right teacher, with the right guidance, coaching, help, support, I think this can be their more a superpower, I would hope, than anything holding
That's
them
my
back.
buzzword. Yeah,
Is it?
that's
Oh, I love
absolutely, yeah.
superpower.
I always also describe it like, okay, so if you have lasers shooting out of your eyes, I think there's times where, if that is just genuinely like, Lisa, you now have lasers that shoot out of your eyes, and times where that'd be like, this is amazing, this is so useful for me. But there's other times when you're like, achoo! Yeah, you've just
Everybody's burnt.
lasered a building. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's finding ways of like managing and coping with the skills that you have, the you that
Which
you are, I guess.
you probably did as a child without realizing. And now you can empower others, and now you can realize what those skills are. Oh, how full circle. Lovely. Oh, I love that we went down that rabbit hole, and that was not on our questions, but I think it's so important to cover. Thank you.
Side quests is one of the other things as well.
Yes. Oh, do you know, yeah. Again, husband's always saying that, right, another side quest, is it? Oh, this morning I was off on all sorts because I was excited to chat to you and thought, right, what can I get done? And I really had to watch the clock because I thought, oh no, here we go. I was in the middle of cleaning, washing, like 100 things that I was really happy to do, but thought, Lise, be careful here because you're going to miss this call that you've planned. Yeah, a side quest. I love a side quest. So let's talk about your tour, because I'd love to hear about this. How was the experience of touring, and sort of what does that teach you that you perhaps don't get? You said you love to learn, so do I. What does that teach you that you perhaps don't get in other aspects of acting?
Ooh, interesting question. I think maybe the most useful thing for your listeners would be because I've done kind of a number of tours now. The tour that I'm currently on is a tour called Murder She Didn't Write. Here's a little thing. I don't know if people that can see.
Fabulous.
That might be backwards or mirrored.
No,
but yeah,
no,
Murder
it's
She Didn't
coming
Write.
up perfectly.
That's an improvised murder mystery. So it's very fun, very high octane, because
Uh-huh.
we ask the audience some questions and then we go on and we absolutely we make everything up. We make a whole murder mystery up from walking on a stage. From the moment we walk on the stage, we don't know each other's names until
Wow.
someone said, "Oh, hello, Jeffrey." Okay, I'm Jeffrey. um,
My
um,
goodness.
so
That's exciting and challenging. Wow.
yes, it's full on. But one of my the things that got me into acting was improvisation. Like I remember there was a teacher that I had. I've forgotten their second name, but their first name is John. This was at Bath Theatre. Bath. Oh, it's changed now. But it was at the Bath College, basically. And yeah, I just absolutely was like, this is amazing. Mainly because one, I'm coming back to play, and two, I am with a group of people that are being taught how listening and accepting and offering is really important. It's the most important thing. You listen and you try and accept as much as possible. So there's this like lack of failure. It's not about being competitive. It's actually non-competitive. And we just try and celebrate as much as we can. And that ultimately, that's also how I like to try and hold my rooms as well, in terms of when I'm teaching. But sorry, side quest.
No, we love it. We love a side quest.
But touring. So I'm currently touring that. And it's kind of
I
going all
presumed
over.
you'd finished. So, thank you for squeezing this in between all of that.
No, yeah, thank you for
Gosh.
having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's why life is a little full on at the moment. 'Cause we went to Australia, to Adelaide Fringe Festival, and we're currently going to be on in the West End. But it kind of is doing kind of very tiny little stints back and forth in between the West End, which is great. It's really beautiful to be on kind of stages that people revere. But I thought it might be helpful to talk about actual touring where you have a script.
Yeah, true, because I think that is more the norm, isn't it? Like, this sounds exceptional and exciting, and also I'm thinking exhausting, because once you've learnt your script and got it all down, yes, you're always performing like it's the first time, because you want to be real and you want to feel it, but it's in your body, isn't it? It's in there. I don't know, there's something, I don't want to say mechanical, because that sounds like I'm not talking about acting, but there's something
learned.
Learned and sort of, I don't know, solid within you. You think, this is what we're going to do. Whereas, wow, everything that you do is different every time, which is magical, but potentially, I would imagine, quite exhausting.
It's a little bit petrifying, to be honest.
Yeah. Like you said, high octane, like, my goodness.
Yeah.
But yes, I must make sure that I let you talk about the practicalities of tour, what that is like for potentially any young adults listening, or parents, if they are if they are chaperoning their children on tour, they kind of need to know what a tour might be like.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you are a young person touring, then it's more likely that you're going to have a lot more structure around that tour in itself. Just because I did a tour. The longest one I did was for 2 years, ultimately, and it was with a show called Crimes on Centre Court by New Old Friends, and that went everywhere and back again.
Brilliant.
And I think there is one of the things I'd love to speak on is there is a part where, yes, you do know your lines, and you do know the play, and it's really lovely to go on stage and respond to the audience and enjoy it. And then there's this level where you're like, oh, the audience are responding differently, and staying curious and being like,
that's the
why?
beauty of live theatre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I kind of use tour as a lab, ultimately, with an audience, because you rarely get the chance to be like, this. I think it's really important to go, yes, I have all these characters to play with on stage, but also my very important relationship is my character and the audience, because I was trying just highlight that there are people that have bought a ticket and they've come to sit in the seat, and I think it's important that we never forget them. What was I saying on tour? I think we just want to know
some of the practicalities, like Is it tiring? How does it work? What are sort of typical lengths? I mean, how long is a piece of string? But in your experience, just give us a flavour of what it's like.
So that particular tour was we'd get up very early in the morning. We would drive to the theatre. There'd then be get-in. That get-in was around about kind of 3 hours if it was good. If there were problems, it would be 4 hours. So a get-in is when we get all of the set into the theatre, and then someone manages the lights and makes it look like the show. And then about kind of a little bit before the show goes up, the company come in and we do kind of a warm up. There might be some like security thing, health and safety things, just to make sure that we can run around the back of the set, things like that. And then we do a little warm up, and then we go off and we get into costume, and then go on stage. And then when the show comes down, usually in the evening time, we then have to do a get out, which usually takes about an hour. Put everything back in the van and then drive off to the next destination to stay over, or we drive home, or so it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and you really have to love it. Otherwise, I think there are points as well where, sorry, this is very real. There are points as well where you think, oh yes, this is lovely. I love this show, and I'm only working from 7:30 until whenever the show comes down. But actually, if you're sat in a van driving with someone for 3 hours, then you kind of are working, or you wake up in the morning and someone.
Part of your work, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. You're kind of not officially working, but unofficially you're on kind of. But yeah, you have to be ready to kind of muck in. As a photographer, one of the things that I try and get people to do is when we're taking I play lots of games in my photography, and one of the games that I play, rather than poses, call them games, is like ultimately imagining that you've got these dungarees on and you're about to like lift a piece of set and take it into the theatre, and ultimately the picture, the freeze frame of that is like, I'm ready, like I can do this.
Yes.
I'm up for it, give me the job.
I love that.
It sounds amazing, give me the job kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
that's fabulous.
But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
I think so. Well, we're sort of talking about the realities of touring and just to sort of advise people who've never done it before. I think it very much depends, doesn't it, on the tour, whether you and the team are producing everything, or whether you're turning up as a young performer to be in Frozen or whatever. I think my concerns would be for people's well-being is that you are surrounded by your team, and it can be a wonderful relationship, can't it, the people that you work with as an actor, but I could imagine it also could become quite lonely. I guess it depends on the stints that you're away from. That would be my things to sort of maybe prepare people for.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it's very important that you bond. It's not necessarily bonding with the people that you're going to be touring with. That's really helpful, and it can be a really beautiful experience. Some of my like very, very good friends are from people that I tour with, and also people that I'm like, I would have really struggled if I didn't really connect with this person.
I didn't have you here, yeah. So,
but I think and I kind of say this to everyone, whatever age, is I think people sitting with what their needs, their requests, and their boundaries are, and how they come into a space, and recognizing other people's needs and requests and boundaries. Not that a lot of people don't know what they are. I think then when there's, I do a lot of work teaching and facilitating conflict and how we can kind of navigate through conflict, because we're all humans, and at the end of the day, when someone's only had 7 hours sleep or whatever, and then they have to get and drive a van, and being able to, or as I said, you've not had a very good day at school, and now you've got this rehearsal in the evening time, and being able to go, here is what I need. I am going all over around the house.
No, but this is all brilliant. This is all brilliant advice.
I guess
what was that you said? Needs, boundaries, requests, and boundaries.
And boundaries. So here is what my needs are. And that's why I love the neurodivergent community, because often people have to do that work, because if they don't do that work, they really struggle in a neurotypical kind of culture. So being able to go, I'm overstimulated, I need some time away. Or a friend, I've done a job with someone that had to really keep an eye on their sugar levels. So it was like, at this point, I need to go away and eat some raisins. It has to happen. And yeah, finding then what those kind of the things that you are like happy to do and the things that you just absolutely can't do, or if you do step beyond those boundaries, you're really gonna struggle. I think it's really important in any environment, be it school. I wish I knew my needs, requests, and boundaries in school. Or any work environment as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. So let's go right back then. You say, I wish I knew this at school. Obviously, I knew you before sort of either of us were trained as such. I'd love to hear about your training, how it shaped you. You've already mentioned one teacher and improvisation, but tell us more about how any training that you did shaped the path that you've taken and continued to be on.
Oh, yeah. So I went to Bath College, which is now currently in 2026 mainly called BTA, Bath Theatre Academy, which I also now work for as well. And I also
really lovely.
Teach, well, we both do. We teach for one of the teachers that was teaching me at that college, which is kind of, and I will, like, just if they're like one of the teachers for me that I was like, this person really believes in me and is able to place things.
We can mention Laura of Rag and Bone. She's going to be on the pod. She's going to be on the
beautiful.
podcast in coming episodes. I've got her booked in, so she's coming on. So yeah, there's another little crossover there.
So yeah, Laura was able to kind of place things on my kind of path that was, I guess I think I learn I need my autonomy, and someone being like, hey, there's this as an invitation, and me going, yeah, brilliant, I'll pick that up, rather than this is what you'll have and here's a spoon and I'm going to spoon feed you. I need the to ask all the questions, and I think Laura was very patient enough to go for me to ask questions and Laura to be like, yes, because of this, or this is what I know. It kind of teachers that don't have ego, I guess, if that makes sense. And it is able to so one of the things that I actually often call her is Miss as a joke, because I remember going, oh, Miss, right in the beginning at Bath College, and her being like, that's, you don't have to call me Miss, call me Laura, and me being like, equality.
Yes, my drama teacher tried to do that, and we were still in a secondary school, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. But her name was also the same name. They were both called Jo, and my friend in the class was also called Jo. I was like, can we please just call you Miss? But I love that now that I am Lisa as a teacher and not Mrs. Southam anymore. Like it feels really freeing. I don't know. I really like the first name terms. Perhaps that it is that equality. I don't know. I didn't realise what it was, but I definitely really like it.
Yeah, like one of the physicalizations of that, which I love about drama rooms, is often people will sit in a circle, and it takes the status away from I'm sitting here and you guys are all sitting in this tiered,
your desks or whatever.
And it makes us all one. For me, my ultimate goal is about creating communities that I can thrive in, and people can, we can all kind of thrive in together. And I think for me, working in a circle, collaborating is an important thing. Bath College kind of taught me how to collaborate, or my favourite style of working, basically. And then I went off to LIPA, Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. I always say I didn't realise how much I learnt until I left there.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's an awesome school. It just, I think with any school, be it ballet school or drama school, shifting slightly, but they are quite strict. And I always say you need to be ready to go. It's like the army.
I've heard some horror stories, I must say, and also some wonderful stories. And I do think, from what I've heard, things are changing and getting better. But I think there are still some niggling things that wouldn't sit right with me. But, not at LIPA as such. I don't know any, just in general from what I'm hearing from young people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I was actually talking about this yesterday. One of the big things that we always say was like, yes, we had to cut our hair in the first term. So everyone shaved their head. I think I think if you are
Really? I'm so surprised.
yeah, so I think if you identified as
It's like the army.
yeah. So if you identified as a girl, you didn't have to shave your head, but you did have to take all your makeup off.
Okay, fair.
And we were all dressed in black, and it does feel really extreme. I remember watching, there was a Norwegian friend of mine that had hair down to kind of just his lower back, like a single tear
Yeah.
dripping down his head.
This is giving me goosebumps. Yeah, this is... Wow.
Yeah. So potential trauma, but but what it did was it neutralized the room, and
I think there are probably better ways of doing it, come to think about it, like the names and the circle. But wow, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we couldn't hide, and it meant that we then had to start as neutral. Yeah, it meant that we were really kind of excavating who we are, because I'm not my hair, and I'm not the makeup that I wear. I'm not the clothes that I wear. Which also then enabled us to be like, oh well, actually, if I'm the neutral mask, I can also play this character and this character and this character.
It's kind of freeing then, isn't it? Yeah. It does make sense to me. Whereas I took the uni route and did drama and theatre through that, and I was always hair, makeup, clothes, blah blah blah. Did love improvisation until another rabbit side quest, until I got Bell's palsy on one side of my face, and I didn't know if it was ever going to go away. They said it might not. And again, I think I don't know if it's a girl thing or vanity thing. So I was hiding away in my baseball cap, and I remember improv. Lisa, take off your baseball cap. Oh no, it was take off your baseball cap so that we can see your face. And in that moment was awful. And it got better and it was fine.
Yeah.
But again, I remember just feeling so exposed even there. But not feeling neutral at all. Just scary. Yeah. I'm painting an awful picture of university. It was brilliant. I loved it. Like amazing experiences. That was just something that happened to me.
Yeah, that's one of the things in all of the industries that I'm working in is how do we celebrate ourselves more? I think that comes from a very key place in terms of I call it the Kool-Aid, the things that we're consuming that by the time that you come to a space that's like, hey, let's play, and like let's just play again, that you feel that you're not safe enough to play because potentially you're going to be shamed for how you look or the things that you're doing. I do. That's why I love teaching and facilitating, is to go into spaces and offer an alternative to that and highlight and say what's serving us and what's not serving us in our current society. Why don't we, however long I'm teaching, make a microclimate of and let's use those things that are serving us and not include shame culture as an example, or acknowledge when shame culture's here and be like, oh, shame culture, this thing's happened, but that's okay. Like that's just come from outside. Let's move it to the side. Can we listen? Can we accept each other? Can we offer more? And then crack on with the work, I guess.
And I don't want anyone thinking that I'm saying that teacher shamed me, because they definitely didn't. It was the shame that was in me because I suddenly couldn't, because I looked different to how I was. Yeah, and potentially
definitely you not feeling safe enough to
say, hey guys, this is what's happening to me right now. Or today, no thank you. And I think this also ties in really nicely too. I did an episode about what parents should look for in a tutor, in a drama class, in whatever they're looking for, the training for their little ones. And I think that is letting them have a trial, and do they feel safe with that teacher? Does that teacher make them feel
definitely
excited, treasured, safe, whatever it is, that if your child's enjoying it, and also I think usually the parents can get a measure if they can meet the tutor as well. I think it's important because mostly all of the teachers I know are wonderful, but you just need to be careful and check them out. And all of the things that you're saying, well, it's very overused, isn't it? The red and the green flags, but absolutely green flags to all of that. If you're hearing those sort of things from these people who are going to be training your darlings, then I think that's great.
It's the I'm going to say, whether putting good or bad on them, throwing those kind of binary words out.
It's
but
what
it's
works.
Habits.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
I think there are, like, we all have habits. I know that as a teacher, I'll come in and the people that I am facilitating will come away with my habits, and some of those might serve them, some of those might not. But for me, I trust that they will. But
because we can only teach them what we think is, like you said, if it was good, but what serves us, and that might not. And that's why sometimes, you might look at a certain group and go, that isn't for my child, because it's not. That doesn't serve them. They need something different. And I think that's okay. And I've talked before about trying out different sessions and finding what fits and what works well. So let's move from training, if we can, if that's the bulk of your training is at LIPA, to auditions, a huge part of an actor's life, particularly perhaps in theatre, because I know you've got a lot of theatre experience. What do you think makes somebody stand out in an audition? Feel free to use any examples or stories.
Good question. For me, it's about storytelling and the choices that they make. I actually, when I'm teaching, I have a flag, and people can take this if there's any other facilitators.
Awesome. We love to share, don't we? I love that about drama teachers.
One of the flags I have in a corner, imaginary flag that I have in the corner of the room, that I always just remind who I'm facilitating, and often point to it. Usually if they ask me a question, they say, am I allowed to do this? Can I do this? I'll point to a corner of the room with the imaginary flag that says, make a strong choice. Make a decision and commit to that decision. It's better that you make a choice that you're really passionate about, and completely just absolutely go for it, then be curious about whether it worked or whether it didn't, and try and take your ego out of it if you can, and be like, that didn't work. Okay, what would I do to make it work? What's the next thing that I can do? And also, I've been sat on the board with kind of specifically casting for certain roles, and it's lovely watching people come in. And I think my theory is the jobs that I have got has been when I've been in the room and I've gone, here, I'm making this choice. This choice is exciting to me and I think it's fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Yeah.
Yes. And I've watched people go, that's the wrong choice for this character.
But we like, we're enjoying, but we had a good time watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, we enjoyed watching it, and you seem really interesting, and you just didn't have the right information, or you made, you just went off this way, and the vehicle that you went off with was...
You're given so little. Maybe sometimes for theatre, maybe you've been privy to the whole play. I certainly wasn't in my last few auditions. You've got your couple of sides, and that's that. And you've got to make a choice. You've got to make it up, which is totally different to actually putting on a play, or actually, well, not a film. You might only have your own sort of little bits, perhaps in film or TV.
But you can't investigate the text usually to be able to go, here is a whole play. Okay, cool. I'm going to read it. I'm going to invest my time in working out what my character relationship is.
You couldn't do that for every audition, could you? You'd have no time. Yeah.
But you don't, even if you wanted to, you don't get that opportunity. So being able to come in and go, I feel like this would be fun to play, coming in, making that choice. And often I've had lots of directors go, that's not the right choice, but I love what you've done there, so let's rework that. We want it to be a bit more like this. And you go, okay. And I'm keeping myself malleable enough to make those rechange and reshift and go, cool, thank you. Now you've given me the information. I'll play this game instead, kind of thing.
And that's why you need to have those lines sort of nailed into your body so that you can 100%. Play on top of that, and do different things. And actually the gesture wasn't just to remind you of your next line or whatever, which I've seen students do.
Right.
Oh, beautiful. So yes. So they stand out when they are loving that bold choice that they've decided to make. Oh, that's really
I kind of want to comment on the lines on the comment that you made about respond to it, because I am ADHD dyslexic, and learning lines is a big thing. But
it's hard for me.
Yeah, but I'm so aware that every audition that I've been like, I didn't feel good in that one, is because I didn't put in enough work, and I know I have to do so much more work than most people to remember those lines and get those lines in. But
You're
if I'm able,
validating me now.
right,
I am
but
100% on your train right now. Go
and
on.
there's two worlds. There's one is, yes, I have to have time to do the work and learn the lines, and yes, I have to have time to if I don't have someone telling me where I need to go and what I need to do, like to find out where the actual audition is in the first place. All of the like industry stuff. I think there's two sides to acting. There's working out the industry, and then there's also working out the craft as well.
Yeah,
And
100%.
they're two skills that you need to work on equally.
And a lot of the time for our listeners, that's the parent learning about the business and the industry, and the child learning the craft. So I mean, that's quite nice. It's quite a
Yeah.
team, but ultimately the child will need to know about the industry too. So hopefully they're kind of learning together along the way. That's why I like that Lacey and I are doing it together, because we are sort of learning together, which is really, really fun. Oh, I digress slightly. What were we talking about? Here we go. So we're talking about standing out in auditions, but yeah, it's really interesting and very freeing for me to hear you say that, because again, I would watch other people do a couple of rehearsals on book and then they just knew the lines, and I would have to study, and I still do now. I'm like, okay, and I want to be off book, and I am always off book for my self tapes, but it 100% seems to take me 5 times more effort at least than anyone I'm witnessing. And that was, so again, if your child is, so I guess that could be a combination of ADHD and dyslexia or any other neurodivergent elements there. If your child does struggle, there are so many ways, and I've got better. It is a muscle, isn't it? Kind of the brain, the learning lines. I've definitely got better and quicker, and found some little cheat ways, like walking around the space to learn them is quicker, and always has to be out loud, and don't waste your time just looking at it. That's a waste of time for me anyway. So I don't want anyone to, I want them to feel really inspired by you, which I'm sure they will, and to think, gosh, no one would know that from the outside, that actually you have to put in maybe 10 times more work to learn your lines, but the dedication is there, the passion, the enjoyment. So
I think sometimes though that is I see people come in, and the volume of work that they put into it, because you've spent so long being like, come on, get in my head, stay in my head. You're investigating the text so much more than other people that can go, I can read it 4 times.
We're changing this to a superpower again, from something holding you back to a superpower.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It is that, like, you it's the superpower that you need to be mindful of. Yeah. It can get in your way, but actually it can really help. It can really make you go, I really know these lines and I really know this character. So if they do decide, be like, yeah, we'd like to rework this, please. You're like, I know this.
Yeah. I know it because I had to know it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've explored it hundreds of ways.
Yeah. Thank you for reframing that. There's me having you on, hoping to help the listeners, and it's actually really helping me as well. So thank you. That's really lovely, Emile. So how do we sustain this career then? So we've got the training, we're standing out in auditions. It can be really hard, can't it, to get consistent work? What's helped you sustain a career over time?
What has helped me to sustain my own career is to do the work, to love the craft. You have to love the craft. If you don't love the craft, I think a question I always pose is, why are you doing this then? And finding ways to love it more. I struggled with Shakespeare when I was younger. I do really enjoy Shakespeare, and there's points where I've absolutely loved it, and that point was when I was like, oh, what is the thing this is like a puzzle. This is like a word puzzle. That's really interesting. That was my curiosity into Shakespeare, knowing also that there's so many things that we already use from Shakespeare that we're like, oh, actually, yeah. And I think applying the same technique to your career and finding what you love, there's actually, yes, you could be an actor, but there's also other styles of acting, be it improvisation or even going, oh, actually, I really love acting, but I also love stage design or lighting, and finding other ways in and around the industry, producing. Often the thing that I say to people that have kind of trained is like, great, brilliant, now make your own work, and actually
Yes.
being ready to tell your own stories, I think is a high motivator, because then you're not waiting on this like, here's a script, learn it, and well, the other thing I would say in terms of sustainability is stay in your autonomy, and for the love of like the acting industry, actors, please stay in your power. Parents, please remind actors to stay in their power, because otherwise what happens is we give our power over to I'm trying to find a better word than capitalism, but we give our power over to industries that are like, we just want entertainment and money, and it's
we just
you're on a
care. It's
conveyor
just
belt.
money. Yeah.
And us being like, as a group, as a community, going, here is how we keep our power, and here's how we don't give it away, so that we're looking after the next generation. I think is so important. Yes.
Can you give examples? Can you give examples of that? I feel like you were starting to give us an example of it by creating your own work. How else can actors stay in their power? I love that phrase.
I think there is some for the industry, in the craft. In the industry. I try and stay in my power by, if I get a casting and they're like, hey, brilliant, there's this job and it's for Netflix and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like the best. If you get this, it's going to change your life. We need it. We need you to do a self-tape in like 2 hours time. And I'm already doing something that's quite important. Then I say, no. You should have done your work. You should have emailed this casting out to people before, so people had more time to give you the best version of themselves.
Because that's encouraging the sitting around, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's encouraging that you should just be sat waiting for for Netflix to call you. Yeah.
And
that's great that you can say no.
It's horrible, and it is, sometimes I don't, but I've learned from being in a space of going, Hollywood is calling me. Okay, yes, cool. And I have gone, I'm really sorry, I can't teach this class tomorrow. And it was at college at that time, so I've explained to the class that you have to be ready to drop everything. And there are points when you're starting out, as I do say to people, you need to be a sleeper cell agent. You need to be ready to go, this opportunity is here and this is what I'm prepared to do. But I think it does come at a cost. Because you are going, yes, I drop everything. And then one of my big things in terms of me knowing myself is I really hate letting people down. So then I've let a whole team of people down. So yeah, being able to prioritize, I would almost say, what your values are, and making sure that when someone goes, here is this thing, you don't, that's what I mean by needs, requests and boundaries. It doesn't come outside of your zone of what those needs, requests and boundaries are, I guess. I think that's it really, in terms of staying in your power, is defining what that stuff is, and then really trying to make sure, or if there's a point where you're like, I am coming out of that, but you're really conscious as to why, so that when it does,
and then you can explain it too, can't you?
And you understand what's happening. Yeah, because then but then you're aware that it's high risk, high reward, which a lot of this industry is anyway, I guess. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, I feel it does, and more. So let's move on to headshots, because I feel that perhaps that's another creative way that sustains you over time. I've seen some of your headshots and they're absolutely beautiful. I'd love to talk about your work. You're welcome. Absolutely. I was pretty much, it was going to be my birthday gift to get headshots with you. And then the car broke, and then all the money went on the car. And husband did them, and he did a fine job. He did a lot of research, and they're doing all right. But yes, absolutely, that was my plan. It just didn't work because of a stupid car. But there we go. If you can get your headshots with Emile, do. I think they're stunning, and it sounds really exciting how you get that work. You've already mentioned with the dungarees and the ready to go. Let's talk about headshots, because a lot of parents need to just create that sort of passport style headshot to start before they've got an agent or anything. So if we can think about what makes a good professional headshot, we can then sort of rewind and say, well, what are we looking for if you're looking for a headshot photographer, but also if you're trying to create your very first bits and bobs at home, what makes a strong headshot in your opinion?
Well, do hold on to those questions because you
I gave you a
asked me a
lot in one
question.
go.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but
Oh,
yeah, do
sorry.
feel free to steer me. No, it's lovely. It's like talking about headshots absolutely gets my like synapses firing. One of the things that I love about being a headshot photographer is that I always describe it like I'm not my jam, I'm not my product. If I do a show and I come off and the stage door and someone's like, I wasn't so keen on that, I'll be like, oh.
Oh gosh. Whereas now they're judging other people.
Yeah. Whereas with this, if someone's like, I don't like these headshots, even if we had a session and you were like, I don't like these, as long as I like them, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I really do, but you don't, and that's okay. Now we can navigate what we do next. Like, I'm not my product.
Huge.
Yeah, I don't have yeah.
We choose the ones that we think I do anyway, and I know lots of others. We choose the ones we think that look the nicest in, and they're not necessarily the most true of our casting types or even of ourselves. So yes, sorry, I interrupted.
Well,
tell us more about that.
I'm
So it's
potentially
not your
giving away
jam.
my secrets. I'm potentially giving away my secrets here.
Well, don't. You don't have to.
Oh no, but happy to share.
Okay.
Well, I'll whisper it.
Okay. Listen carefully, parents.
I always say to people, like, these aren't for you. These are for casting directors.
Yes.
These are for directors. These are your, ultimately your thing, the thing that gets you in the door. So you might. I always also say everyone is insecure. Everyone is insecure because
not just actors.
there's only a handful of people I've met that are like, oh no, I love myself and I'm really happy with my image, and I'm like, oh my god, so inspiring because recognizing that your insecurities, likely the casting director isn't going to go, oh, I don't like your left eyebrow there. They're more, sorry, I just have to say, on the video, your
got
cat.
My cat. I know, just
you like you've
wafting
got
about.
A tail.
I was like,
I love it.
If I just stroke her, she might just calm down and go and sit in her basket. But no.
It looked like your own
It's
tail
just
at one
lazy.
point. It's like, I don't remember
that would be
Lisa
unique
having a
for
tail.
the industry. Yeah, there we go. Hire me, I have a tail.
But that's it. You said about your casting. Yeah, like if you're insecure about your tail, like you need to put that in the shot. No, in all seriousness, being able to lean into your authenticity, and one of the beautiful things at the moment is, the industry is after
going that way, isn't it?
Authenticity. Yeah, it's not after the archetypal characters that I think we were trained for. It's like, can you play the king? Can you play this person? Now it's more. These characters do exist, but there's much more nuanced and kind of diversity within those characters, which I think is beautiful. I'm so happy to be in this space and time at the moment where that's happening, and where from the top down, people are wanting to tell bigger story. People are wanting to tell diverse stories, I guess.
I think that's so good. I remember being told, or a lot of people being told, they were in the middle. They didn't even fit any of those archetypes. So what's the point? So like, oh gosh, but real people often are in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. The cat's back.
Yeah. We were told at drama school, it was just, I think we were like the year that people were like, you have an option here. You can work really hard and neutralize your accent to receive pronunciation, RP, or you can keep it, because potentially there are people now getting work as regional actors.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, I want to do both. I want to get really good at RP, but also not lose my own accent. And I hear there are actors, and I actually, this is an opinion, not sure how helpful it is.
Okay.
But there are actors that when I see them perform, all I hear is RP, and I think, you're all I can hear is an archetype, and I want the nuance of character and who you are coming through, or the different choices that you're making coming through in terms of people that I recognize in the real world. But that's just, that's my
it's interesting
flavor of entertainment.
And I did the same thing. I heard but by myself. I heard my voice. I don't know. It must have been about, 6 or something. I had a little tape recorder reading out my Christmas cards. I heard my voice, very West Country, and I hated it because I thought that's not how actors sound. I want to be an actor. Actors don't sound like this. And subconsciously got rid of it. And it does come out sometimes. And I can use it as well when I want to. But yeah, I remember making that choice. But then this is my natural voice, because this is my natural voice now as an adult. But as a child, I think I offended my family a little bit as well, and said I didn't like the accent, didn't find it nice. And now regional accents are generally celebrated, fantastic, so they should be. But yeah, in that time, I didn't feel like that.
That's absolutely, like, I kind of went on the same journey, and there's one of the things that I've like settled into is there was a thing kind of within a lot of my lived experiences as a person kind of being in the world, there's a concept called code switching, which is ultimately being able to go into a space and be like this, and then going to another space and be like something else, and actually being able to celebrate that actually that is me when I'm in that space, and this is me when I'm in this space. And there are some times where I'm in and I'm absolutely doing a thing, and I'll leave. So the group of like, I'm chatting to people, and they'll leave me, and I'll go like I was masking. Yeah, it's been exhausting because I'm performing. But there are also times when I'm like, no, I can absolutely, if I go and see my family and end up coming back being like, all right, my lover.
And then to me, that accent is so warm and so lovely, but I spent a long time shunning it, and to me now it just wants me, just makes me want to give hugs. And so I've come full circle with that now. But that's interesting, and obviously the actor trait that was always in you, that you could go and do that and not realize that you were doing that. And I think, again, young people aren't they? They're different with their parents, to their friends, to their teacher, and that's society, and that's normal. But
that's
for them to start finding the spaces that make them feel invigorated rather than exhausted, and the people that make them feel like that as well, I think is important.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the big, huge things that I've learned from being like, you're not just neurodivergent, you're neurodivergent. And the reason why you're tired at the end of the day, or the reason why you are suddenly really exhausted, is because, I find myself in spaces where I'm having to do a lot of masking. And that really, it comes at a cost. It burns up an extreme amount of energy. So what I'm actually doing at the moment in terms of my kind of like best hope for the last couple of years has been, I want to be in spaces where I can mask less, or I feel safe enough to mask less. Ultimately, little Lisa feeling safe enough to take their hat off and being like, I'm accepted as to who I am right now at this point in time. Being in those environments just really... I when I come out of those environments, I feel giant. I can't express how giant I feel. And I really recommend for people to kind of sit with who they are, go on that journey. It takes a long time, but to work out what kind of person, the things that they like, the things that they don't, and the environments they want to be in.
I think that's tricky, isn't it? Because us, or me at 40 something, I can say, I know now what I can throw my energy into and never feel tired, and what tires me, and the same with people. And it's really hard when we're talking to young performers stepping into this industry, stepping into first agents, first auditions, all of that sort of thing, where they don't truly know themselves. The parents know them, but they only know the version of them that's 8 years old or whatever.
Absolutely.
Gosh, I mean, how? I'm riffing now off the top of our heads as teachers and nurturers. What advice can we give them to feel like their whole empowered self when they're so young and they haven't yet found all of that?
Get curious. I have an actual game, or not a game. I think it's more of a philosophy in when I'm holding space, which is, we'll do a thing, and sometimes I'll go, right, cool, I really believe that, I trust that you guys can do this game. This is a difficult game, and I trust ultimately, regardless of what age that you are, that you will be able to be mindful about the game after the game. So we'll play whatever game it is, and if it's difficult, I often get people to think about it afterwards and be like, brilliant, now that the game is finished, where are you? Are you like, oh, that was really stressful. That was, I wasn't very good at that game. And now I feel like I don't feel good about myself, or like, do you love that game? Do you dislike the game? Why don't you like it? Why do you like it? So that we begin to go, yeah, cool, beautiful, I've been really present and I've just been playing and I've just done this thing, and now how do I feel about that thing? So that it trains us to start I'm thinking of a word. I can't.
Understanding themselves, I think, and
yes, yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
yeah.
this is magic. I'm going to nick this for my sessions, but also,
please do,
wow,
please do.
if we could have had more of that in training, because we all do these wacky exercises and whatever, and we know they do us good, but we're not always sure why. If you can take that moment, and again, if students are coming home to their parents, instead of "How was your day, darling?" if you can get them to reflect on how they felt and why, they're learning quicker than we did about themselves.
Absolutely, do that. Like, if you're a parent and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because then it enables us to go, why didn't I like that meeting? Or why did I really enjoy that meeting? Why did I feel safer in that meeting? Or why did I have fun? Like, because then I try not to think of problems as problems. I try and call them opportunities, so that we can then go, there is now this problem that felt like a problem is now an opportunity, and I can address it. I can express a need, or I can put in a request, or I can set a boundary with myself, so that, and helping young people get to that place. I think that's why I love teaching, I guess. Sorry, I'm monologuing, but that's why
go on.
I love teaching, because full truth, I was in a lot of situations. In some places, I'm trying not to. I've already said where I trained, but I was in situations where I was
lots of actors do lots of other extra classes and all sorts. So it could
do lots of
could
extra
be
other
anywhere.
classes, where I felt I really didn't feel safe in the class, and because I didn't feel safe, I didn't make strong choices. I don't feel safe enough to take a chance. The other flag that I put up in the room is imaginary flag. It's I always say it's more important than me, it's more important than you, it's more important than anyone in this room. Is it's okay to fail as long as you try. And I get kids to investigate, or learners to investigate, why that flag is so important. And then I also, and I will try and spread this as much as possible, I then give everyone an imaginary little flag and get people to wave it if they ever feel that they're trying something and someone's shaming them, and they feel like, oh, I don't feel good that you're doing that, and I just tried something and it didn't work, and now you're being weird. Is to wave the flag, and to be like, hey, and this means, this is, I'm trying something, like, help me try, because then when it's your turn to try, you'll actually feel safer, and we can just keep helping each other fail and learn from our failures, and just say, thank you, you tried that thing, it didn't work, brilliant, I don't have to do that. I'll learn from that.
Yes.
What a gift.
That's great. Yeah, that is such a gift.
Yeah, so I always say, if you ever meet anyone in the industry and you're throwing shade on someone and they do this, they do a little imaginary flag wave. Yeah, they've met me.
Oh, brilliant. Can I pull you back to headshots, Emile? Because I was really enjoying talking about that. Yeah. Good job I've got some notes here, otherwise I'd have no clue where we are. So did we talk about what makes them strong? I guess we said it's about the person coming through and people knowing themselves. But what are the common mistakes that you might see in a headshot? It doesn't have to be one of yours. Perhaps headshots that you've seen that you've gone, there's a mistake there. What could it be?
I think headshots are always changing. But
they're often trendy, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes. The current flavour of headshots is find a fairly neutral background, find a fairly neutral t-shirt. I'm actually going to, my agent once said to me, I got some headshots done and I had a big, shirt that I really liked, and I felt like it made me look quite posh, quite RP,
and
received
feeling's
pronunciation,
important, right? You want to, if you feel something,
yes. Oh, yeah, that's really interesting. I'm not considered that before. I felt great, and in the background was that columns, like if you ever come to Bath, you'll probably see lots of Georgian, Roman, columns.
I'm seeing this picture so clearly now of you with this shirt and these columns.
So I'm feeling great, feeling fine. Take a pic, like yeah, feeling snazzy. My agent looks at them and goes, "Ooh, that's a nice shirt." And I was like, "Thank you." And then it took me a
But it's
while to
actually
realize that
taking away because they're not
yes,
looking at you.
yeah, and ultimately, yeah, so finding a way of feeling great in something that's a bit more neutral that ultimately I'm currently for our listeners I'm circling my kind of
Circling your
face,
head. Yeah.
yeah, that yeah it focuses us in on what your story is, because ultimately that's my goal is I'm as a photographer, I like to focus in on what people's story is originally. Who are you authentically? And then we can jump off and play from that. But people usually, I think casting directors are usually into who are you? And then what characters can you play?
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
because then often I think we bring a lot of ourselves to characters. So starting with who you are as the base character is quite yeah, is and also it's likely going to be you that's coming in through the door, not you. I mean, some people do this. They come in as a character. But yeah, it's likely they'll want to be like, but can we work with you?
Yeah.
Who is this person? Hopefully
What
that
would
answers your question.
It does, but it's brought on another question
Yeah.
because I would always go in as myself in the room and for a slate. But then if I'm slating in, say, like an accent that's not my own when I've been asked to do so, then sometimes I'll leave my slate till the end so that I'm fully in character at the start. I would imagine casting directors are going to want young people to come in as themselves because, I mean, that's a heap of confidence anyway to walk into a room of strangers and say hello. Would you advise grown actors to go in as character, or is this again making that bold choice and doing what works for you?
It absolutely is. I point to the flag. It's and also when we're good, when we really know what we're doing, we have some amount of data, and I don't know how you get that data, whether that's you've done a workshop with the casting director or whether you've done some research and looked at I don't know, some people even film and put online the auditions, and knowing that that's the casting director that they were auditioning for, being able to go, I think this casting director would love that I came in character, and you come in and go, boom,
Knowing
here's
your
the choice.
stuff, knowing your audience.
Yeah.
Yes.
I whack it out the
That's
park
good.
and
That's
then
a
I
good
go,
tip.
hey, this is me. But some people don't like that. Just in the same way that there are older generational casting directors that would actually secretly prefer a black and white headshot.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, there are casting directors that
In
are
the
like,
good
no,
old
no, no.
days.
Yeah, like they'd secretly prefer, please send via like, what's the word? Post a
Yeah.
black and white headshot. Yeah.
Wow. My goodness.
Yeah.
So if we tie that back, because I sent you down a side quest as well to headshots. So we're saying then a common mistake is not letting your true self shine through, and that be maybe a distracting top or background or.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I always say when you go on stage, you have to be vulnerable. And that's tough and scary. But yeah, going on stage and being like ultimately strong and proud enough and celebrating yourself enough to go, this is me, this is who I am, and this is what I can do. And I really enjoy it. Yeah, those are the goals. And obviously your butterflies and all the nerves that will kick in, but by being able to go, actually, I stay in my power and then I go on and then I tell this story. That's my big thing. I
feel
guess
that from you.
I try not to say hide behind. I don't think that's fair to say that I hide behind it. It's my hyper focus is I'm like, ooh, great. I get to not be me. I get to be this character. Here I go. I'm going to come in with this, come in and play and show this is the character. This is my interpretation of this story.
I thought that's what you were going to say, that your thing, that's why I was nodding away, your thing, and I was waiting for you to say is storytelling, and then you said is hiding behind a character. I thought, gosh, no, that's not how I see you at all. I see you as this strong storyteller, yet how interesting that you as the actor went on the more negative and almost said, or did say, hide behind. That's so interesting.
Yeah, I think I used to be like, great, I get to not be me and hide behind this character. And now I think I've reached a point where I'm like, no, I love who I am. I'm very grateful for the life that the work that I've, the seeds that I've planted. to be able to go into spaces and be like, this is me. And also, I think this is helpful, not when you're first starting out, because getting those jobs in are really important, but to reach a point where you can go into a space and go, great, do I want to work with these people?
You're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I would rather someone come in thinking, great, do I want to work with these people, and decide to go, no, I don't think I do. I'm going to be safe here and not work with these people, and I'll wait for the next job that I do want to work with, a room that I do want to work with, so that you don't have a really bad experience and then drop out of the industry.
That would be really sad.
Yeah, I want people that love the industry and stay in it, and that is longevity for me. Is finding your spaces and finding your stories as well, the stories that you want to tell.
I've been so lucky in that. So I've only been acting instead of teaching for the last 3 years, and I've been so lucky that the people that I've met have been wonderful and always very safe and creative, and I'm building those connections now, and it's completely different to what people told me 20 plus years ago. Oh, this is the industry, and I won't go into it now, but I know the moment where I went, I do not want to be in this industry, I'm going to go and teach. And it was really intriguing, horrendous, and I know it, and it was everything that everybody painted to me of, this is how you're going to get by, you're going to tear everybody else down. I was like, that is not for me. Oh gosh, now I feel I'm going on a side quest. What was my actual point to telling this? So now I'm so lucky, but is that because I know who I am and I know who I like working with? I don't know. Just everybody I've met, there's not been a single nasty person that I've come across in the last 3 years, and that's brilliant. But maybe that's through my rose-tinted glasses. I don't know, and I hope the same for my daughter. But she's got all that growing and changing to do. But at least I can sort of protect her from what the industry was and maybe still is in places.
Yeah, I think we do, because the industry is very much so in places. I think we do meet those people that are like, I'm here for the job and I will stand on you to get where I need to be. And us, as I said, having strong needs, requests and boundaries around that stuff, being able to go, and finding ways of going, if you're finding that there's bad behavior or behavior that doesn't align with you, being able to request that it can be acknowledged, and then holding people accountable in a kind way so that it doesn't happen anymore, I think is
that's really difficult to navigate.
It's really difficult. Yeah. But if we were all able to do that, it's really usually difficult because people struggle to hold themselves accountable. But if we can shift that narrative so that everyone is able to be like, oh, you're making me feel a little bit like this, or when you do that, it hurts me because I felt a bit shamed then, and they're like, oh, sorry, apology. And
not my intention.
Yeah, I call it shining light, and we have to be really brave and bold with that. But to us carrying our torches in this industry and going click, click, and shining a light into a dark corner, I think is really important, because otherwise people just keep perpetuating the bad behavior. Not bad, perpetuating behavior that doesn't serve us.
I consider myself to be a person that wants to and help and guide people, but I can make mistakes. I'd want my students to call me out and say, no, that's not acceptable, or we don't agree. Yes, please, because we're always learning, aren't we? I think they should.
I love that you said that. That's one of the things I often try and remember to say is please talk to me. If you didn't like a game, or if you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling shamed by you, Emile, right now. For a child or for anyone to feel safe enough to say, Emile, this is how I'm feeling right now, and ultimately to hold me accountable, so that I can learn in real time. Beautiful that they feel safe enough to do that. For me, that means that they feel that I don't have enough of an ego to be like, how dare you get out, all of that kind of stuff. So
no, definitely not.
Yes.
I'm going to pull back to headshots again. Sorry, I'm really enjoying all of these conversations. If a parent is looking for a headshot photographer, they've reached that stage now, and they haven't necessarily been advised by their agent as to who to go with. So they're taking their punt on their first headshot photographer. Gosh, what should they be looking for?
Ooh, that's a
And
really
again, it's very
interesting
personal, isn't
question.
it? So it is tricky.
Here is my
So
full
I could,
truth.
oh yeah, go on. I was going to
Here
say I
is my
could give you some
full
examples.
truth. I would say look for someone that look for people's headshots, that go through their headshots and be like, yes, these are great.
Right.
I think these are the type of things that are going to get they're a calling card, and they're going to be an effective calling card. Then check in with that person that's taking the shots, and you probably want to make sure that that person that's taking the shots is going to be able to facilitate the room well. I've had some inquiries where people come in a little bit too bolshy and a little bit too my child, like, I'm employing you to take headshots of my child, and
so I'll tell you what to do.
yeah, and a bit like that you don't trust that the photographer knows what's going on, but coming in with like here is what we were thinking, we'd like this, here is our like best hope, I think is really important. But there's some people that I've said I think it might be better that you look for someone else, because I don't think we're aligned if you've got all of these, like, it has to be like
great
this.
You can say that.
Yeah, because then it becomes, for me, it's not a creative pursuit, it becomes a tick box exercise. What else? Because as a teacher, I don't know if you've had this before, and I think it is really helpful in terms of accountability to make sure that you're not getting in the way, as a parent, you're not getting in the way of your child's career, ultimately, by putting things in people's ways that make it difficult for the person that's doing the service and the child to kind of just get on and just do the job, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of this with agents and parents. I recorded an episode yesterday, actually, and it delves into this and parent behaviour quite a lot. So it'll probably be the episode just before this one. Yes, check it out if you haven't, and it talks a lot about parent behaviour.
Please check it out. I mean, I haven't had a chance to listen to it. I've never seen Dance Mums, but the vibe that I get from Dance
I have.
Mums,
it's awful.
It's
I can't bear it.
All of that. Watch it for like what kind of probably not to do. Yeah, I mean, that's just the vibe. Because I haven't seen it, but if you have, and you're saying the same thing.
The girls liked it for a while, and I started shouting at the TV, and I'm, Mum, chill out. And again, I'm like, oh, you cannot do this as a parent. You cannot do this as a teacher. Oh no, it makes me so angry. I don't watch it anymore.
I have to be careful here. There's a singing teacher that I know very well that has said to people they're doing very, very well, and they've said specifically, I really love working with this child, but I just don't want to work with their parent anymore, and I'm so busy because I have my own career. It's easier that I don't.
Got in the way of that child's
They've got in the way,
yeah,
and they've gone, I'm sorry, I don't think this will work, but here's a resource, so you might go off down this angle instead, maybe try and work with them.
So sad and ironic, yet what the parent probably wants is the best for the child, and they've scuppered that opportunity. That I think that's important that you've shared that example, that can happen in real life. It can happen with casting directors, it can happen with agents. Stay grounded, parents.
There's like having that tenacity is really wonderful and so inspiring, but like be mindful of being pushy, I guess. Thanks.
So yes, look for the headshot photographer, I think, that resonates with you, the shots that you like and you think would be that door opener for you or your child.
And make sure, especially if you're working it, because I always invite people to come if they're underage, to be like, actually, if they're overage, sometimes I'm like, if you feel more safe and more confident bringing someone with you, then that should be okay to do. I actually have a little flyer that I've just found on my thing that I'm happy to pop to the screen as just a little. Yes, so I'm Lock and Lens, and I'm based in Bath. If people, I'm more than happy to kind of have chats with people about that. If people are like, oh, that's interesting, your photos resonate with us, but we've got some questions. I'm more than happy to chat to people.
We'll
before they
link,
book.
Lock and Lens has got an Instagram, hasn't it? We'll link
Yes,
that.
it does,
I'll
yeah.
talk at the end about where people can find you, and we'll link all of
Lovely.
those connections in the show notes. But yes, check them out. I think they're beautiful.
Oh.
And what makes, finally, our final point on headshots,
Yes.
what makes someone trust an actor from their headshot?
I think it's that they're confident. So a headshot that I always get people to steer well away from is if I see a headshot that ultimately has any question mark in it, it's likely the one that I'll try and get people to steer away from. Because I think you have to remember that a casting director is going,
You've got no time.
yeah, they are absolutely flying through these things. Yes, no, this person, yes. Like, even if you send in a
seeing them
showreel,
tiny on a screen as well.
Yeah.
They might be seeing them as a really tiny little thumbnail.
yeah, and you might even watch a showreel and they'll be like, I'm going to watch 30 seconds of this because I'm busy and I've got lots of other things to do. And so finding a way of, you don't want them to subconsciously go, and move on. You want them to go, oh,
Clear.
That stopped me. Yeah, it's clear. It's there's like something about it that pops ultimately, or something about it that really resonates with the story of the person, of the actor, the character that they're casting for. But we don't always know that, so that's why a lot of people come to me, yes, and come and get a number of styles, and I kind of work with people on what the styles, the characters that they want to play, and then we kind of go, all right, cool, here is a list of characters we want to play, let's play with that. And we find nuanced, subtle ways of being like, this is me, but this is me in the 1920s. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, lovely. I love that. Thank you. Let's move on to creating your own work, because I know you're doing that as well. You're producing your own work. Tell us about it. Is it Adventures in Hidden History?
It is, yes. Adventures in Hidden History. I don't have a flyer for that yet. I need to do some printing.
Again, we'll link any details we can in the notes.
So I have done lots of jobs. I work with the Natural Theatre Company, which is based in Bath. I work with a company called Ministry of Fun, which is a marketing company, and we often do a lot of street theatre. And there was this one particular kind of street performance that I was doing that was down at the Roman Baths, and I started working there, and I just discovered all of these characters that I'd never discovered before, and just ultimately had assumed that all Roman emperors are Italian, and then was like, whoa, that is not the case at all. And then went on this journey about finding loads of other kind of characters throughout history that actually I can see myself in some shape or form. And then ended up having a chat with kind of two other people, one particular person that I was working with, two people, one person called Kesty and one person called Hannah. We were chatting, and we just ultimately ended up being like, this is so frustrating that I wish I had my history teacher told me about these characters.
Yeah, it would have been interesting.
I would have been so involved in that lesson. I'd have been like, I see myself here. And ultimately, this waffle is all about representation.
Great, because that's my next point. So I wanted to ask you about representation and storytelling, and tell me more about that.
Yeah, so ultimately there has been a big shift in terms of diversity and representation in storytelling, and even like I've worked for companies like Disney in the past, and it's been wonderful to see that they're also now going, representation is kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily at the forefront, but yeah, it's really important. You can really see that it's like, that's important to us, and ultimately, this is what Adventures in Hidden History is doing, is we are jumping through time and landing on these characters that myself and the cast that are collaborating to tell the story are being like, wouldn't it be amazing if my younger self knew about this character and this character and this character and this character. And that's our kind of the premise. But yeah, that's kind of coated with us being like, let's just have fun and see what happens, and tell a wonderful story that, yeah, the kind of stories that we like to tell, I guess. But yeah, if people can take away learning about kind of characters that they can go, this is my history, and I didn't know about Emperor Caracalla, or the richest, to date, I believe, the richest human in the world throughout time. Oh no, that is Mansa Musa, and the Emperor Caracalla is a Roman emperor. That is, I think, of Libyan heritage, and just
This is
things like that.
Yes.
Sorry, you asked me two questions, and I went mew.
No, I just said
Secret.
representation and storytelling. Because, like I said, I see you as this really strong storyteller, and you're saying representation is here now and is so much better. I'll go into sort of my third question that I didn't mention, which is, why is that important for you now at this stage of your career? How and why is that important?
I think, Lisa, it's always been important for me, but I haven't had access to it. And I think there was a point at which I was like, I don't want to be in this career anymore, because I keep finding myself in rooms where there's parts of me that aren't allowed to exist. And I'm working on that now. And to go, actually, is this part of me allowed to exist in this room? And actually deciding, then going, hang on a minute, why don't you come in with all parts of you and go? So I'm trying to be in spaces, as well. I love facilitating, is going in and going, hi, this is who I am. I am all of these things. Let's do a little round robin to work out who you guys are. What things are you? Brilliant. What's important that people know about you? Cool. Now let's all celebrate each other and work from there. Because that's how we tell amazing stories. Because I think for me, the importance of, I hope this kind of answers your question, is at the end of the day, there might be a me sat in the audience. There might be a you sat in the audience, and us being able to go, I'm telling the story, and it's reaching out to the Lisas and the Emiles, and the audience, the viewers at home, you, if you're sat in the audience is reaching out to you as well, then it means that, to me, kind of from a nuanced point, that story is diverse enough to hit you, I guess. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. I've got a note here about stereotypes and casting, because although diversity is much more celebrated now, I had another actor talking to me, and they were saying it's still a little bit more lip service and not necessarily, it's still a little bit box ticking. I've seen you, oh gosh, what was it, that lovely clip, and getintotheatre.org.
Oh yeah,
that lovely clip. I've seen you talk about representation there as well, and I wonder if you'd experienced casting stereotypes, and if it's getting better, and how you've navigated it, if that's happened. Again, I keep chucking in loads of questions together.
Thank you. What my response wants to be is, look, there's a good number of stories, and maybe this might be valuable to tell one. In terms of representation in theatre, and this is specifically in a theatre, this story is, I was working over Christmas. I was doing a show at the Bristol Old Vic, and I cut myself, and I was like, oh no, I've cut myself, and it was mid show, and it was doing a show called Antarctica, and so everything was white.
Oh, flipping heck.
My finger's bleeding, and I'm like having to do a show without doing a show stop, which is when we stopped the show. But yeah, I managed to kind of not get any blood on any of the set, and I got off stage, and I was like, right, I need to look for plaster. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be weird doing the next show with a plaster, and or the audience knowing that I've cut myself. That's an odd distraction. Oh, it still makes me, activates me. In the first aid box, I found a plaster with my skin tone.
You did? When was this, if you don't mind me asking?
This was this Christmas just gone.
Okay.
Christmas 2025. And
good.
It just, to know that I can be in a theatre where if I accidentally cut myself, it's like you're allowed to bleed as well.
I'm feeling emotional. Yeah, wow.
And I managed to find a the Nancy who runs the theatre, and I bumped into them. I was like, can I just say, like, thank you so much. It's everything for me to be able to feel like I'm allowed to make mistakes here, almost.
Yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, on the flip side,
Yes.
I want to say that should just be standard. You shouldn't need to be, wow, thank you so much for having a plaster of my skin tone.
Yeah.
That should just be a thing. And it's so sad that perhaps until now, that makes me feel very sad.
Yes.
But thank you for sharing that.
No,
because I think that's really important.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share, and also for me feeling safe enough to share as well. And
Good. Oh, you're welcome.
Something else that might be helpful to say in terms of like more kind of on characters, is what was I going to say?
So we talked
What was
a
the
bit more
question
about
again?
stereotype. I think we were saying
Yeah.
about sort of stereotypes and casting. Have you experienced that, and has that moved on now in your experience?
I think it really has moved on. But I think there's always a little bit of a like, we're gonna tell this story, and I think that's why we need to be we need to know what stories that we don't want to tell. I personally, I think in terms of like telling stories, especially like women's characters that are women, and the stories and the traps of kind of even writers sometimes are like, she's got blonde hair and really long legs, and you're like, but wait, what? Like, why is she defined by her hair color and the length of her legs? And finding ways. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Finding ways of, if you ever get a script or a casting like that, finding a way of going, okay, wait, you haven't given me enough information for this, therefore ultimately, to me, I would call that sexist to some extent. How do you go, well, I'm going to get rid of your sexism and I'm going to put in something else that makes me go, this is
Gosh,
this
how
is
do you
who
get
she
that power
is.
back?
Yeah, how do you take your power back? How do you stay in your power? And I've heard lots of stories where people have done that, and then the people are like, oh, whoa, I absolutely didn't see her like that. And you're like, yeah, of course, it's because you're looking at this character through a male lens. That's why we need women writers and women directors, and but yes, that's yeah.
It's exciting as well. That's good. Yes. Oh, brilliant. So yeah, we think things are changing, and yeah, we're getting all a bit political, and I like it. Hopefully the parents like it, and hopefully protecting the children of the industry that are coming into it and the future performers. Yeah. So let's bring this then to advice for young performers.
Okay.
Those that are just kind of starting out in the industry, especially the ones that don't feel, and I've seen this a lot in students, they feel they have to fit a particular mould. Where this mould is coming from, I'm not entirely sure, but they have this vision of trying to be this person, and I keep saying you must be yourself. What would you say to these young people?
Oh, yeah, I guess what you're saying, and I'm it's really difficult to say a thing and to hear a thing and then to actually do the thing. I've got lots of things that I'm like, Emile, you must go to bed at this time, and then 2 a.m. I'm like, what's but yeah, I think it is to like take that advice and actually commit to the thing, make a strong commitment to to do that, I guess. I think hopefully that's a valuable thing to say.
I think that's good. Listen to those coaches and those helpers that you trust, that you feel their advice is valuable, and try and embody it, because you're so right. We do it to ourselves, don't we? I'm always advising myself, and some of the stuff I teach, I still get wrong myself. The irony, and that's why I love still teaching, because I think it does make you better. Because it's so much easier said than done, isn't it? It's so much harder to put it in practice, but keep practicing it, kids.
100%. Getting into the habit of it being that practice, I think, because we can so easily get into the habit of being like, oh, I've got an audition. Yeah. Oh no, I haven't learned the lines for this because I really didn't want to learn them because
that's boring.
I don't have the dopamine. Yeah, it is. It's boring.
It's the boring part. Yeah.
And then getting into the practice and the habit of going, cool, this is what happens. I learn the lines, and I learn them this way. I learn them joyfully if I can, kind of thing.
What about the parents then? How can they best support their young people in this journey that they're embarking on?
I'm going to say a thing.
Okay, you say a thing.
I love you, parents. Make sure that you're aware of why you are doing this, because I think sometimes people are doing it more for them than they are for their children, and that's when the pushy parent thing and the dance mum thing begins to happen, and you're like, oh, you're living through something, and it's heartbreaking seeing a kid in a class that they don't really want to be in, and yet sometimes they're like, it's actually really important that they do stick this class out, that they stay there because they said that they wanted to. I think that's really important. But when the motivation is coming solely from a parent and there's a misalignment there, just check in with yourself and check in with your I was gonna say your person, your child, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
No, that's it for parents. What really helps the young people feel supported, and I think you've said it there, it's checking in with them. If they don't want to do that self-tape, why is it? And if that's, and most of the time they want to, and it's fun and it's brilliant, but if they don't, and I think an agent said to me, gosh, sometimes and it looks like the child's being tortured and they don't want to be there. I think it's checking in, because children change and develop, and just because they want to do it now doesn't necessarily, and sometimes a lot of us parents wouldn't necessarily wish the industry on them. It doesn't necessarily mean they will, but if they do, great. But I think you've said it there, check in with them.
Yeah, and I guess is how do we find, because there is a rub between, like, you have to commit to this thing. Like, if my, even now at 40, if my mum was like, come on, you've got an audition, you've got to do it, I'd probably be like, oh, I don't want
it. Get lost, mum.
Yeah. Finding a way of making it fun. Like, that's my goal for myself. It's like, how do I invest in this audition so that it's fun and I'm enjoying it? What's the game? A really wonderful friend has, when we were we're having a problem, they were like, what's the game here? And I was like, oh, beautiful. Yeah. How can we play? How can we play through this?
That's really good.
Yeah. So that there is an aligned motivation still, I guess.
I love that. You're talking about being supported, and that's sort of one of my final questions really is, who or what has supported you along the way? It could be a whole heap.
My initial voice was like, myself.
Yourself. Do you know what? Good. That's so important. I was listening to a podcast and it was talking about loving yourself. And it's a hard thing, especially, I think, British in today's society. I think it's almost crass to say. People don't go around saying they love themselves. I think you have to. I think you do. You have to know that you're a good person and that you value yourself. Change it to value if you can't manage the word love. I think you're so right. Yourself has supported yourself. Good. Don't be shy of that.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, actually, because I've done a hell of a lot of work on myself, and not just like the light things, but also like the shadow side, the shadowy stuff, and being like, why am I doing that? That's not serving me. All of that kind of stuff. So it isn't. I think it is important. I will say myself officially.
Yes, good.
I also one of my things I always say, and why I love my life, is that I try and cultivate spaces in which I'm inspiring others and inspired by others as well. So there are so many people from students that I've worked with to teachers to situations where I've gone, maybe I'm even learning from your mistakes, whether you want me to or not, or whether you're happy that I'm doing that or not. It's everything. That's by coming back to get curious. Everything is, not everything, but lots of things can be taken as lessons, I guess. I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And now I'm looking at sort of, again, so we're coming to the wrapping up and the final questions. And then I was going to talk about teaching at the end, because when I was thinking about you, I'd almost put that aside. And I feel like we've dipped into teaching really nicely and really organically all the way through, and it's clearly a strong part of who we both are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at the questions on teaching and see if we've missed anything. Okay, and I think I know the answer already, but what do you enjoy from the teaching side of things, or this giving back and working with others?
I'm gonna full truth at the moment. What I'm really enjoying is it's being the facilitator, being the one that has the power in the room. But let me finish.
No, I know. I see where you're going here.
Being the one that has the power in the room so that I can share the power out. I think there are lots of people that have power and they're about power over, and I'm all about power to and power with, and being able to go, cool, here is... I often say when I'm in a room, usually to older kind of teenage from... these have just died. Can you still hear me?
Okay, I can still hear you really clearly without echo or anything, so don't worry.
I can't hear you. Well, just so I don't forget the thought, is what I often say to people is that I am facilitating this room because I know a lot about the subject that I'm facilitating, but there might be a point which, like, one day I end up in a plumbing class and you'll be facilitating plumbing, or you're facilitating finance, or so... Finding that kind of balance and that equality, but right now it's me, but let's like explore this together, and just creating spaces where we can then really explore. And I love working with people that are able to like put our lab coats on, our storytelling lab coats on, and really excavate. That's the answer. I'm just going to see if I can work out how I can hear you again.
Let me try. Better. Yeah, I'm quieter.
I'll just lean back a little bit so I can hear you, but yeah. Sorry, you said therapy session.
You're right. I said I feel like we've both had so much to say, and it feels like very therapeutic.
Yeah,
I'm feeling. But I might just chop all of that coming and going out, and come back then to, I think, my final question is, and I think you may have answered it in part there, but all of your creative things that you were doing, the acting, the creating, touring, the teaching, what keeps you loving it all?
What keeps me loving my life? I think not supplementing, enjoying my life outside of my career really helps me, because, and I love all of the things that we keep talking about. I really do think they are all kind of like washing each other's hands. And ultimately, if my goal is storytelling, is the human experience, me being like, great, let me go back into the world and just have a human experience, or watch someone else having a human experience. I think then being inspired outside and then being able to come back into the industry, it will come back into a story and be like, that thing that's inspired me, I'm going to pull out and throw into this story, I think. And ultimately working with my people, the people that inspire me, and I feel safe enough and understand the people that I understand and understand me, I guess.
That's beautiful. I love that. And then if I'm thinking about flipping that for the young actors and the parents, yes, I think choose those projects and those people that you work with carefully when you get the choice, and begin to know what works for you, I think, and that will keep you loving and feeling joy in the industry, because it certainly does have its ups and its downs, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah.
Quick fire round. Are you up for it? I've got 4 very quick standard questions for you. Okay. So whatever comes to your head, doesn't matter if we've talked about it already or if it's completely new to you. I'm sure it won't be. Okay. One thing that stands out instantly in an actor.
What came to my head was that they've got it.
I love it. That's all we need.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah,
go on. You can say more on it.
Yeah, it's that they're confident, and they're like, there's a confidence in them, and they're like, I'm enjoying this. I'm having fun.
Yes, brilliant. A common mistake in auditions.
That you give your power away, or that you come in small, come in big and beautiful, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I love it. One thing you wish you'd known earlier.
Oh, so many things. I wish I had known about the concept of shame culture. I wish I'd known. You said one thing. So.
That's all right. Go on. Give us more. Go on.
I wish I'd known what spaces I become giant in and what spaces I shrink in more. I wish I'd known that it's okay to be me in spaces, and actually I wish I'd known that when I come in as me, people tend to respect me more and meet me as I am. And when I come in small, people go, okay, you're small, and meet me there. And then it's difficult to shift.
Brilliant. That's such good advice for people starting out. And finally, one piece of advice, which that almost doubles up as one piece of advice for someone starting out.
I was going to say, wear sunscreen. No, but actually,
As Lerman,
yeah. The link to that though is have fun. Like this is it's called a play for a reason. When I speak about where's the game and play and have fun and like just play, like get back to, especially if you are a child listening to this, like you currently have an extra like a wonderful thing that's over adults, which is you can play. Your ability to play is endless and like unboundless, whatever the word is. When as adults, we need to keep remembering to do that, and it's remember to play. That would be my advice. When I meet people in the industry, I'm like, do you play? Are you fun? Are we going to have fun together? And then also be ready to also hold yourself accountable as well, I think. And those two things for me are the things that make me go, brilliant. We play. Oh no, something went wrong, but that's fine. We fixed it. And now we can get back to playing again.
No, that's great. And I see that as sort of going over and over and moving forwards and creating great work. Oh, awesome. So before I go out into my outro, Emile, would you like to let everybody know where they can find you and your work?
Yes. Sorry about my squeaky chair, by the way. Yes. I am Lock and Lens, which is I'm a headshot photographer. I also do theatre photography as well. I am on Instagram as @Emile J Clarke. That's more kind of my just kind of acting. Yes, those are the main places you can find me. I'm a
Awesome,
what's the word? I do lots of different things, but yeah, those are my main places.
Multifaceted.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Right, I'll make sure all of that and any more that you give me is in the show notes.
You've got a tail again. Sorry,
you.
that's why I'm smiling.
Oh, I know, she's come back. Here we go. So a huge thank you for your time today, and that was such a thoughtful, honest, deep conversation. I felt there's so much in there about the reality of the industry, building a sustainable career, the importance of storytelling, authentic stories. If you found this episode helpful, do feel free to share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to leave a quick review because it really does help other people find this podcast. If you'd like to find more help and support from me, you can find all of that across my socials @The Drama Coach. And I'll see you again very soon for another episode of The Drama Coach podcast. Thank you so much for listening.